I think I texted you that, oh my God, Aditi, you are coming over and stealing every scene that you're just taking it away. Her presence in Jubilee was super. So, Aditi, before I start off with the questions from taking in questions from members of the press, I would like you to address आप हिंदी इंग्लिश किसी में भी बोल सकते हो आप अपने कलकत्ते के सारे प्रेस अपने सामने हैं आप कुछ उनको बोलना चाहते हो अपने बारे में कुछ बोलना चाहते हो whatever you want to start off with you could start off with and then we'll take in questions.
First, I'd like to say namaskar to everyone. Thank you so much for having me here. I love coming to this city. I think I've grown up with a lot of Bangla influences around me. So I feel very comfortable, very loved, I feel very excited every time I have an opportunity to come here. I love the way people think, I love the cinema that comes out of here. People are so artistic, and I think one of the most unique things about Kolkata and Bengali culture specifically is something I love and I relate to a lot, which is that it's so rooted in tradition. With there's a pride in history, in its culture, in the language, in poetry, in art, in its cinema. But at the same time, there's such an expansiveness in the thought, and I find that so beautiful about everything Bangla, and I have to say the food, which I grew up with, and even now I have a Bangla cook in my house. I love it, and thank you for having me here. This film festival is in many ways, uh, something that everybody looks forward to, and I know that Bangla cinema has always been something that has been spoken about in the world. I myself grew up watching certain filmmakers, certain films, and had these dreams of wanting to be a part of these films. In fact, when Ananda came to me with that film, I so wanted to do that film, and I even today say that I would love to do. I've worked in various languages, but I haven't done a Bangla film, and I hope that I can. So thank you for having me here today. This is a big honor for me, and thank you so much.
Before we proceed, taking a cue from what you said about you've been doing a lot of language films. Now, is that because you have such a varied lineage in different languages? So is it easy for you to understand and pick up when you are doing language films other than, say, Hindi?
Thank you for that, ma'am, because you actually answered the question for me. I have grown up like that because I also come from a very mixed, sort of mixed family, very mixed heritage, lineage, whatever you may
She's
call it.
almost absolutely ideal Indian because she has everything that India has.
Really? And even what I don't have possibly in my blood, I've had it in the influences around me. So I do feel like a child of India, and I feel comfortable actually in every city I go to. But of course there are certain favorites that I have. But yes, to me, I always feel that we're so lucky, and as an actor, I feel so lucky to be a part of Indian cinema because India is so diverse. There are so many stories to be told, and there are so many languages that those stories can be told in. And as a child, also because I watched cinema from all over, I always felt, in a very naive and simple way, that stories, like you go to your grandmother and you say, "Tell me a story." That story can be about anybody, anything. It can be set in any part of the world, but it's about what that story makes you feel. And so when I work in different languages, it's really about the directors and the directors who make those stories and the stories that I'm a part of and the characters that I play, because all I want is to sit in somebody's heart, and the language doesn't matter there. It's about what as a character I make you feel. It's about what those stories make you feel. So I always say that cinema is about feelings, and feelings don't have any boundaries of language or region or gender or nothing. It's about the heart, and it's about love. So That's why I really love that.
Absolutely. And you talked about the Bangla influence. What is the Bangla influence actually? Have you stayed in the city or in Bengal?
I have never lived here, but my mother, who's a classical musician, she trained in Hindustani classical music, but then also learned Tundi Dadra. So she used to visit Kolkata quite a lot, and I would visit with her. And also her teacher, Naina Devi, was from a family from here. I also grew up with, I called her Nomidi, who looked after me when I was growing up, and she was from here. So I grew up eating chorchuri and shukto and all the yummy things.
You've got the right pronunciation as well. The last question that I want to ask you is, you're almost a complete actress because you dance, you sing, you sing professionally also. And act. So, and you're a linguist.
I act professionally. I get to sing because I'm just blessed. Maybe I'm lucky.
From your mother's genes.
Yes, I guess. Yes.
Okay, I have finished with my questions.
So, the role which you played, the character which you played in Jubilee, was almost representing Devika Rani.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. So, are you aware of a book called The Longest Kiss by Devika Rani?
I am, but only after
did you
Jubilee
read it?
released.
You read it?
No, I haven't read it.
No.
But
It's
I
a
will.
lovely book.
No, I will read it, and she also has a Bangla influence,
Yes,
right?
yes,
she,
of
she
course.
was- she is Bangla.
Actually, Devika Rani is from East Bengal actually, which was East Bengal,
Yes.
Horipur and undivided Bengal. And Devika Rani came from a very erudite family who were influenced by Western, and so that's why she went abroad.
Yeah, but I think Jubilee wasn't based on her. A lot of people sort of made connections, but it was not based on. It wasn't written
It
like
wasn't
that.
autobiographical at
But
all.
everybody has
like
told me
Imam
to
Surah
read this.
and yeah,
Yes.
because it's a lovely read. That's why. So the first question, I think you have already raised your hand.
नहीं, मुझे ये पूछना था आपसे कि जैसे आप कोलकाता लैंड किए और आते आते आपको ये किफ का जो होर्डिंग पोस्टर दिखा और फिर जब आप यहाँ आए और फिर ये जो मोहब्बत आपको मिला इन सबों से, आपके फैन से, ये फिल्म फेस्टिवल शुरू में बता दीजिए कि कैसा लग रहा है आपको?
जब आप एक फिल्म फेस्टिवल when your car drives into a film festival in itself, you know that वहाँ की जो energy है ना, it's full of cinema. और वो energy बहुत beautiful energy होती है because everybody is there क्योंकि उनको सिनेमा इतना पसंद है, क्योंकि मतलब एक जो प्यार के साथ सबको आता है फिल्म फेस्टिवल में. I think that energy is very infectious. और कोलकाता इंटरनेशनल फिल्म फेस्टिवल is one of those very coveted, one of those very sort of prestigious film festivals. और यहाँ की जो मतलब apart from the fact that it's a festival of many different kinds of films, but the films that are made here are so loved across the world, and for years they have been loved across the world. So मुझे यहाँ आके बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है because it's like yeah, and it's also like the home of some incredible cinema. तो एक होता है ना एक kind of sacred energy almost. Yeah.
Thank you. Next question.
की बात चल रही थी.
Just a sec. I will take questions only by show of hands and nothing else.
Aditi, this is Shobit from India Films. Aditi, you have been to Cannes very recently. I would like to know how much it matters to an actor in terms of validation in visiting these festivals. That's one. And the second question is that you will be a part of a film where quote-unquote misogyny is there in the script.
See, I won't quite answer your second question yet. Let me think about it. The first one, I will say that, it's not so much, I don't look at it as validation, but it's truly an honor to be a part of incredible film festivals because you're surrounded by people that you look up to, you're surrounded by artists, you're surrounded by people with a vision, you're surrounded by... I am what I am because of the directors who have nurtured me and challenged me and given me a platform. and the people who love cinema, who make sure that I love going to work every day, and it is for that love that at least that love for me is very infectious. So yes, a film festival is very important, and it's very wonderful to see different kinds of cinema and different kinds of influences, because they obviously impact you and your decisions. The second question, I'm going to answer it a little differently. I'm not going to get into misogyny or the lack of it, or but what I am going to say is that as an actor, for me, it is very important to not judge the characters that I play. But at the same time, I must also be responsible, because those films are watched by a lot of people, and what we put out there, we do need to have responsibility towards. Having said that, I will also stand by what I said, that it's a very fine line to not judge the characters that you're playing, because many of the characters don't always think like you, they think differently. That does not mean that they should be shunned. And everybody deserves to make the film that they want to make. It is our choice whether we watch it or we don't.
दीदी अभी भी अरिंदम दा ने जुबली की बात कही, एक और वेब सीरीज भी आपकी काफी हिट साबित हुई है, ताज। इन दोनों के लिए आपको हाल ही में पुरस्कृत भी किया गया। आपकी व्यापक अभिनय क्षमता और सम्मोहन जो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स है, इस बारे में कुछ बताइए। सम्मोहन क्षमता को मतलब उजागर किया गया है इन दोनों वेब सीरीज।
I think मैं ब्लेसिंग के तौर से इसको मानती हूँ कि